Welcome to the OFX podcast. I'm Dave Claxton, and along with me, as always, is the motherly motivator of the masses, Bethany McChesney, or Brittany McNeese.
Oh, did they
Yes,
call me
because,
that?
well, not this weekend, but actually the last time, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm
it is.
always Brittany in Quebec.
It is. I don't, it must be something with the way it's written. I don't know.
hmm
I, I'm learning. I'm learning. I
French?
think, well, no, not really. I think I'm not learning really more French, but I think they're becoming more tolerant of my ignorance.
Yeah.
I think they're just starting to go, okay, he keeps coming back. We'll just tolerate how stupid he is. Yeah, yeah. We were told we were special, which is a real real sign of that.
Special in a good way or like,
I'll take special no matter what.
yeah.
You know what? You want to start there? Because we got a shit ton of stuff to go through. You want to go
Okay.
through just quickly go through
Yeah.
our one? Went to Quebec this weekend. We had an adventure. So it was just Ryan and I this time. Our team effects was just the two of us. Um, but we went out there and we went total boondocking. So we drove out and we camped in a Walmart parking lot.
Nice.
Yeah, right beside a gas station because the gas station had a 24-hour bathroom just in case of emergencies.
Uh-huh.
Because we're prepared if you got to go number one, but if you got to go number two, we do have
Yeah.
an emergency set up, but let's just say it's less than ideal.
hmm
So we're prepared there beside the gas station, and it was great. It was really good. We had good sleep, and Walmart. By the way, in case people don't know, Walmart has no issue with anyone camping in their parking lots. They actually like it.
Was there more?
No, no, but I do know in Orangeville, we had a dude for like 6 months living in the Walmart parking lot.
Really?
Yeah, in a pop-up tent trailer. And he was there for 6 to 8 months. And I was in my mind, I was like, I hope this is some young kid just saving up rent money.
Yeah. That would be such a cool story, actually.
Well, there was the Walmart parking lot there, and then there was a Fit for Less gym, which is a 24-hour gym.
And
So
it's like Fit for Less is like $10 a month.
yeah, what
So there's your shower.
yeah, shower, bathroom, emergency bathroom in the middle of the night, everything he needed. He was just set. And I'm like, this kid's just got it figured out.
Yeah.
He could be an old guy too. I don't know. In my mind, it was a kid who had this
Yeah.
figured out to beat the system for like 6 to 8 months.
Yeah. And then he was probably going to be a doctor and like cure cancer. And then he made a
Exactly,
really great
exactly.
movie. Yes.
Well, and if anything, I hope that maybe he would just, you know, hook up his trailer to his little Volkswagen Golf and drive down to Florida for a few months and then come back to the Walmart
Mhm.
parking lot up here.
Yeah.
Be like a little migratory Canada goose. But anyway, so like, yeah, yeah. So Walmart's really good at that. So we drove to the venue and really hot, really,
Mhm.
really hot, like 28-degree race temperature by the time I ran because I ran at 2 in the afternoon.
Mhm.
And but still I liked the course layout. I liked it. This was the most running we've had so far this year, 4K, so two Ks. But just a nasty ass sled drag. Like
Mhm.
100 meters, give or take. It may have been more because I'm not good at that, but I'm going to say between 100 to 200 meters, somewhere in there. And it was heavy and it was on kind of hard packed sand.
Ugh.
So it just dug in and
Yeah.
it was rough. It was rough.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, like I said, and hot. And then we went into the rep zone after that. And it was good. I mean, I did all right on that. There was a lot of stuff like burpee pull-ups, which is great for me. Handstand push-ups, again, good. And the barbell weight was very manageable for me despite my limited skill set.
Yeah.
So mostly it was just trying to recover. So I didn't podium, didn't have as successful a race as I've had earlier this year in the past, but there was a lot of competition in my division, and I was happy with how I ran considering the circumstances.
Mhm.
So it was good. And we'll be back out there, I guess, probably in June at Mount Rigaud. That's the one where you and I both got double under to death.
Oh, the double unders. Yeah, and I lost by like 20 seconds with double unders.
Well, I went from like third to dead last.
That was a really fun course though on the mountain. All the heavy carries right in a row and yeah, really beautiful location.
And if,
That's also where we saw a guy blow out his Achilles on double unders, which
yeah,
made
he
me
was
even more.
that was the one guy I beat in my division because he blew out his Achilles on his last one. I actually helped him across the line.
Oh,
So yeah, it was. I remember that because like it was like 100 double unders or something like that.
100, yeah.
It probably took me like close to 10 minutes, but I got through it.
Hmm. Yeah.
So yeah,
Well,
we'll be back out for that one. That's the next one, and then it'll be the finals in August. Um, yeah, that was good fun. Good. And here's something that people should know, and you should know and like. This year has been the best judging I've seen at both events.
mhm,
Like again, I had a kick-ass judge. She was fantastic. She was right on it. Gave me one no rep on the handstand push-ups, which I deserved,
mhm,
and just she was dialed in. So
good.
hats off to them. I'm not sure what they're doing to improve the judging, but
I
it's
feel like all of the judges are so on point that I feel like they must do some sort of a judge's clinic or something before you're
mhm,
allowed to judge. And it's not like you just kind of show up that morning and you
no.
probably get thrown into a position. Like they all have a shirt and everything where like I feel like they take that position very seriously. And we've seen them meeting before and
Yeah.
they all just they know the rules so well that they have to have gone through some sort of a clinic.
And I do know that they do a call beforehand, like a video call, I think, and
Mm,
just the judges ask any questions they have of the course designer, and they go through that. So I do know they do that. It just it is good. It was never the worst judging in the world, but it is very much improved.
mm,
And it makes me happy. It's so much less frustrating when you see everybody's getting the same treatment. Like I
yeah.
don't care how crazy the rules are, as long as everybody's getting the same treatment.
Yeah, agreed. Well,
Yeah.
and in a race series where the movements are different every time,
Mm,
also, so each time you have to teach the judges. And I mean, obviously the movements are within, a realm
mm,
of 20 things that would
yeah.
happen, but still, you have to, it's new each time
Yeah.
still.
And I think right now the biggest issue that they do have is while their judging seems to be really good, they probably still need a couple more. Because we've had a couple situations where like I had to jump in quickly the last time we were there, and this time there was a couple situations where they're just like one or two shy. So they're almost there, but it's really good. Like I'll be
Yeah,
straight up, it's of the races we go to, it's the best judging I've seen.
yeah, I agree.
That's it. So good weekend for that. And we said this right before, and we should say, what a freaking weekend.
Hmm.
Like Hyrox was just insane with the LCQ. I don't know.
I was so excited to watch this LCQ. Like I felt like I and maybe it's because we have good friends that are racing but even then I just was so excited to see who was going to qualify and what was going to happen. Yeah, it felt like a world championship, like my excitement level around this race. So,
But this is why I was so disappointed. And to me, it is still such a major miss for Hyrox not to have live streamed them properly. I did not get it. Like the minute they said we're going to do these, in my mind, it was these are going to be the best races of the year.
yeah, the excitement around it. Everyone has their person they're rooting for to just get there. So I would have to understand. I'd have to hear them logistically explain why they didn't have a live feed because there's not anything that would make sense to me why they didn't. When we it was Sunday night that these
Mhm.
races were, and we were on Camila Massa's Instagram live, which her
By the way,
boyfriend.
thank you, Luca.
Yeah. And there was never less than 120 people on
Mhm.
the Instagram live, which is a lot. And, it was everybody who loves the sport. Like everyone was commenting, everyone was telling splits. This person's behind, Anthony Persini is on it. Dylan Scott is on it. And I saw Heather White. Like everyone who's like the fans of the sport were watching someone's cell phone Instagram live because we just want to know in real time what's happening. So why on earth could you not have figured out a live feed? Or uh, again, the cell phone thing is it works fine. Like, just I don't know, figure it out, get a couple YouTube live. It's a sport where it suits so well again to a fan base where you can see the whole race essentially played out. Not like Spartan where they go off in the
Yeah.
mountains and you don't see them. Like it's simple. So why they couldn't have done this for this race where everyone was so interested to see what would happen, I don't know.
So a couple of things. First thing, and this is what bothers me that they didn't foresee this, right? Because I'm like, if you're setting up a program, and here's a go, Bethany, I'm going to introduce you. We're going to have a race series, all right? All right, any kind of racing, doesn't matter. This is snail racing. Okay, we're having snail racing series, and there's going to be a world championship. Which one do we want to stream? Do we want to stream the first chance qualifier or the last chance qualifier?
Where's the excitement going to be?
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
where the oh, first chance, well, they're going to have another five more shots at it. Last chance literally means last chance.
Yeah.
That's the excitement. That's where it is. I can't believe they gapped on that and
Yeah.
didn't get that. And it's just it blows my mind. So big miss for Heist. The other thing I heard someone say this is, oh, well, it's not the grid. It's too hard to video. I call bullshit.
Uh-uh.
I'm sorry. You and I, and say what you will about no the OCR report quality is not what Hyrox has put out lately. No, it's not. It's not gotten near the money in the investment. But the video on that was fine. You know?
And people still get to see it. Yes,
Yeah.
it's not like NBC quality video and with all of the
Mhm.
cool graphics and all that around it. And maybe that's what it came down to. It could be a sponsor situation where sponsors were like, we don't want you to bring in like a lower quality
Mhm.
live stream that could
So then
maybe,
pony up more dough to bring in the good live stream.
yeah,
And it doesn't matter about the grid because Stockholm, yes, it had the grid, but the farmer's carry wasn't on the grid, and it was still just fine.
yeah.
It just
People
was
are still in a stationary location except when they're running.
yeah
So you
it,
can still have people that zip between the rock zone and then get to the station.
yeah it was just a miss on that, just a miss on their part, and hopefully next year that's not the case. And I do believe with the success, I'd be very confused if it was.
Yeah.
Um, so you want to talk results?
Yes, let's do it.
All right, all right, all right. You go through it, Miss. I have a code.
I have a code.
You have a code? I know allergies. Anyway,
Oh, a cold. Yes,
yes, a
sorry.
code.
I have allergies. Whatever. If you live in Southern Ontario, it's an awful situation. Okay, starting with the women or men.
Ladies' choice. Whatever you want to do.
Okay, so it's interesting because we have some people in here that were not in the LCQ race, but they're within the results. But in the LCQ, we had Camila who ran away from it after the skier, a decisive win by her. She looked fantastic.
On another level.
Running was so good. She had the fastest run splits of the day. Like, just she looked so good. And even when I saw interviews with her before, she was like just so confident and she knew she had it. So she was 102.37. Vivian Tafuto's time was second, but again, she wasn't in the LCQ. Amy Bevilacqua was second. I was really rooting for Amy. She's so inspiring.
I was gonna say, who isn't?
Yes, I know. Yeah, everyone loved Amy,
Yeah.
wants to see her get in there. 103.47. Maria Fessick with a huge come from behind, our Canadian girl, made me cry a little, took that third place spot, 105.24. She came in a minute behind into wall balls and smashed her wall balls like Maria can, and overtook. So Anji Hardez was in fourth, the final qualifying spot, 105.38. Um, yeah, and then we had Simone Feld was in the mix, Morgan Schultz was in the mix. It was such an exciting race in that like second to sixth, seventh.
So I had a little chat with Camilla, just honestly, probably an hour before we decided to record. And she told me, I just wanted to congratulate her. And she told me, she said, 2 months ago, I started training like the best women in the world. She said, before that, I was not training hard enough. So
Mm.
she's like, I am now training like the best women in the world. So I mean, that's big. Um, that was something that I really took out. And like you said, she was dialed in on
Yeah.
everything. Like wall balls were beautiful. Everything was just done so well.
And she had the fastest wall ball split of the day.
Yeah. And then you're talking about uh, Amy Bevilacqua, just again, solid run right through, bang, bang, bang. She just hit her mark. She just was perfect. Maria, this is the biggest thing for me, and I was all I could do while I was watching it, not to grab Ryan Shaker, go, look, 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 look. Like it was so exciting. But the wall balls were a big weakness for Maria in the past. It was
Mhm.
not a zone she was good at. She struggled with it. She would get a lot of no reps, and she did not have great wall ball times. She took a weakness and turned it into a strength. She made a minute comeback on that wall ball. And when
Yeah.
I was watching the girl beside her, and I'm sorry, I can't remember which athlete it was, but beside her, who was just ahead of Maria, and she started struggling, and I'm seeing Maria going rep, 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 not putting it down, just going, I'm like, holy fuck, she's gonna take her, she's gonna take her, she's gonna take
Yeah.
her. And
Yeah.
just the reaction Maria gave when she got that last wall ball and ran past her was just like, mm.
Yeah.
She did exactly what I was thinking in my head. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, it
Yeah.
was
So
amazing.
Maria's, I think she was beside, was it Simone Feld?
I think so. I think you're right. I think you're right.
So Maria's wall balls were a 354 and Simone's were a 530.
Yeah, and I guarantee you Maria's in the past were around that 5 minute marker.
Yeah. Yeah. And
That is just massive.
Auntie was 516. So it's over a full minute that she took on those two girls that were ahead of her. So
And she needed to. Like she was trailing. She looked like she might have been out of it at that point. It was
yeah.
like, oh my God, she doesn't look like she's gonna get it. And she just turned it around. I mean, it's just fantastic.
Hmm.
Um, other notable name in there that everyone was talking about was Sydney Wells. And
Yeah.
as it turns out, and I thought she'd be in the top 10. But as it
Yeah.
turned,
So she ended up being 18th.
yeah, really, again, not a bad run,
Hmm.
but not really a factor in the day at all. Like she had the best skier, and
Did
then you
she?
pretty much didn't see her. Yeah, she had the best skier of the day.
Second best,
Was it second
414.
best? Oh, I thought she had
Yeah.
the best one. Maybe someone else got a better one later on.
Yeah.
Someone really
Yeah.
rushed to the start.
Yeah, it's up there. But yeah, she didn't dominate really in any
No,
and interestingly enough, her sleds were not what I would expect them to be, coming from CrossFit. So she was very consistent on her running, which I noticed, but she's just not, and this is what we said before, she's just not at the level of running as these girls that focus on Hyrox. And Hyrox is so significant, the running portion, and how important that is. So yeah,
no,
um, it showed with her.
and still at the same time, put in a great showing. She did a good job.
Yeah,
And
I mean, coming out and your first High Rocks doing a 112 in the pro women is no joke.
yeah,
So,
and if you're a Sydney Wells fan and a CrossFit fan, be proud of her because she put in a great
yeah,
effort. It
yeah,
was she was in there with some really fast women on a really fast course and some really motivated women, and she
yeah.
put in a good race. And again, not quite what I expected, but a
Mhm.
good solid race, and especially for what she was preparing for, what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
Yeah, a couple weeks
Yeah,
essentially for High
yeah,
Rocks. Yeah, which isn't really a time to prepare. So,
no, but it does back up the point that you know some of the CrossFit podcasts had said this. No, this is not easy money for CrossFit people to just go and jump into high rocks and take the podiums. It's just not like that.
yeah,
It is high end, it is fast, and it is difficult. And it's not that some athletes can't come over and do really well and potentially become top athletes, but you're not just going to stroll in and win it all.
yeah, yeah.
It's just not the way. Um, yeah, all in all, yes, such an exciting race.
Mhm.
And that was on crappy Instagram feed.
I know. And I should say too, Morgan Schultz was
Oh,
up there and something
heartbreak.
happened and she I think it was either following Amy or something happened where they missed the out leaving from a station and went like an extra 100 meters past the exit and then came back and she lost 40 seconds to a minute somewhere and it
Easily.
it really changed the because she was in that top mix too and just couldn't get herself back in and Morgan also we're a big fan and
Oh,
I don't know the details. I haven't talked to her either about what happened, but something happened where there was a misstep with an entrance or an exit, and they flew by it and had to backtrack.
so I think it was the entrance to the sled pull. And at one point, yeah, you can see that she was up front with, I believe it was Camilla, her, and Antich. How do you say it?
Yeah, Auntie.
Anji, and I think it was those three battling for the top spot at the time. And then all of a sudden, Morgan was not in the picture anymore at the sled pull. And at one point, you see her run in front of the camera, and she's not even in the zone.
Uh,
So then she had to run all the way back around the zone and find the entrance. And it just, oh, I was gutted. Just
yeah,
because, yeah, I mean, I called Morgan to win. And I think she actually had the fitness and was, she was in position to fight for it.
yeah,
She just, like you say, once that happened and with everybody being so dialed in and motivated, once you make a mistake like that, you can't come back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It's tough too anyways. Yeah. And who knows, like the mental side of that
oh,
too. It's tough to shake that kind of stuff off. So
yeah,
yeah, it's too bad.
yeah, that was a painful one. But again, biggest things, and another we didn't mention our other Canadian that was involved too, Katie Simonson. Is it Simonson or Simonson? Oh, sure,
Simonson.
Simonson.
Yeah. So
Um,
Katie,
she had a good finish.
108. So she's probably the most consistent
Yeah,
runner for hitting that 108 time this season. But yeah, put in a great run. She was ninth overall. So
but what does it mean to me generally when you're consistently hitting the same mark over and over and over again? That means you're bound for a breakthrough,
yeah, there's
especially
something, yeah, whether it's, a mindset or she doesn't, she doesn't have a glaring weakness.
no.
So, yeah, who knows, right? Just getting that, maybe it's a pressure thing, just going in one day and just being like, screw it, I'm just gonna have fun today. And you just kind of release that pressure from yourself and the tension around results and stuff. And who knows? But yeah, she's so consistent around that 108 mark.
Yeah. So I think next year you're going to see her have a breakout run and hit like all of a sudden 106. She's just going
Yeah.
to all of a sudden smash one
Yeah.
and be right up there. Provided
I'm
this
sure if
is
you ask her, it's more like a 104, 103, but yes.
yes, yes. Provided this still stays a priority for her.
Yeah.
Okay. How about the men?
The men. So also super exciting race. Um, oh, my thing switched to type A. So, the fastest time of the day, although run from another heat, was Hunter. But again, we not in the LCQ and not that much faster than our first place and the first qualifier, Lucas Storath, who we had both mentioned had a very good chance.
Hmm.
He did run away from it as well. And then we had Jonathan Wynn in second place, the Australian. So
Yeah. And then our third was
Sadiq
not that
El
you don't
Faturi.
need to say the third was sorry, what?
Sadiq El Faturi.
Who, okay. And the reason I wanted you to mention him is because that's a guy I think is severely on the up and coming.
And on the younger side of things too, right?
Yeah. And
He's
he's a
in that 25 to 29 age group.
and a former Premier League soccer player.
Yeah.
So that's like having an NHLer like for us here. That would be like having someone from the NHL being highly involved in Hyrox. So this is big name guy. Um, so that was good. But Lucas, again, much like Camilla, looked super focused and dialed in and
Yeah.
just no weaknesses. Maybe a little bit on the wall balls at the end, maybe started to fade a bit, but by that time he had built such a lead.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. And Jonathan Wood again kind of the same. We're struggling a little bit at the end with the wall balls, but he also had a 90-second lead. So he was pretty safe there too. And Colin Stiefer was in the mix. Also we were rooting for him too. And yeah, it was we our Canadian boys,
Hmm.
Isaac and I would say Sam, who would have been running in a later heat,
Yes.
finishing eighth overall. And if you take out Hunter, who's already qualified seventh for the LCQ, they finished 3 seconds apart. Two Canadians to now go sub 60. 59:38 for Isaac, 59:41 for Sam. So, and I know Isaac, his main focus was hitting his paces, go sub 60. Kind of just hoped that it would be enough on that day. This is still obviously a big PB for him. So,
Mhm.
with Lucas going 56, 4 minutes faster, it would not have been enough on that day. But yeah, put in again a solid performance for a young athlete, up and comer, and um,
So
yeah,
a little chat with both Isaac and Colin, and both of them seem to kind of have that same thing. I think especially Colin was he's like, I thought that some of the European guys would just end up coming back, would
yeah,
be drop off and came back, and he's like, it just did not happen. They just were
yeah.
able to hold the hand to the flame and keep going. So
Well, and we've seen that especially with Lucas, who goes out
mhm.
so hot at the beginning and then trails back. So it's not unreasonable for them to expect that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Lucas is one of those guys who dares you to run with him.
Yeah.
And then it's like it could be it's almost like he's willing to take a couple of punches to the face to deliver one. So it's, either you're going to hang with him and he's going to blow up and you might blow up, or you're not going to hang with him and maybe he holds on, maybe he doesn't. He's making you try to call his bluff. And
Yeah.
it's a it's a hard way to run, man. That's tough. I give him credit.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
But it was well played by him. And yeah, it was just like who's gonna come back, who's not. Isaac, congrats, man, dude. I know that he was looking for that qualifying spot too, and I get it, but you know, first guy in Canadian to go under 60 deserved it. And 20 what years old, nothing but a bright future for him.
Yeah.
Um, and Colin Steefer. Colin was my pick to win. Um, I think again his strategy just didn't quite work out, and the race just went a little faster than he thought it was going to go.
Yeah.
Sam, I knew Sam would do well. Like when we first heard about these things, Sam was always on my mind as a guy that would be really good at this stuff. And to finally see him go down and try one and honestly exceed the expectations I
Yeah.
had.
Most guys don't go out and go sub 60 their first one.
No, and I get it. It's fat. Okay, Hyrox is faster than it was, right? The sleds move quicker. It's
Sure.
faster than it was. But sub 60 is still sub 60. And
Yeah, and he had one of the faster run times of the day. The interesting thing with Sam too and his splits was um he had some stations that were not great and he had some that were phenomenal.
yeah,
Like looking at his stats, like his farmer's carry was the second of the day. Maybe that's a grip thing with Sam.
Sam's got
Like
pretty good grip.
yeah, second fastest of the day. And then some of them, like his ski erg was the 38th. So maybe something that he doesn't get to train on. So I think, and burpees, he was one of the best with burpees,
Again,
maybe a
not a surprise.
yeah. So he has room for improvement here too with some of these stations where he does lack a little bit of time, but some of them he's so good at, including his running. So yeah, to go sub 60 definitely would have exceeded the expectations, but some of these stations he is amazing at.
And Sam's a guy who you don't really think of as like this, the guy you're going to pick out of a OCR lineup and say he's going to be the fastest 5K guy. He's a good runner, but he's just consistent. And, he's got that thing where this is his pace and I'm going to hold it until the end of time. Right.
Mhm.
Like he's just good. He's just great. I knew he would do well. And thank you, Sam, for making me look smart. Um, and it was a treat. I wish we could have seen his actual run,
Yeah, I didn't see anything from it.
but I'm not going to badmouth Hyrox for not having him in the first wave because he has never run it before. There's no reason for them to give him any sort of favoritism or whatsoever to put him in the first wave, but I guarantee he will be next time.
Well, and to be fair, Sam hasn't really done a whole lot of racing
No, no,
lately, even Spartan or Deca or anything. So it would be a hard sell, I
yeah,
think, to put him in that wave.
yeah. So other than that, a couple of surprises, not such on the great end. One, our poor boy Austin Azar went in there, didn't have the best day, but let's give him a bit of a break because I think he just like climbed Everest a couple of weeks ago or something like that.
He
I don't know.
did
He was overdoing some crazy
the
race.
Himalayan 135. So you summit a bunch of the summits and you run 135 miles and he just got back from that. So
And
sure he's a little smashed.
apparently that's taxing.
Takes a little bit to recover, maybe.
Come on, Austin. What the hell, man? Give it some effort. No, I mean it's great. We all love Austin because he's always doing what he wants to do. He's having a great time and he's having adventures of a lifetime. So awesome. And he'll be back. Another one that did surprise me is a guy that was a potential winner is Anas Zuri. And
Mhm.
he was up at the front near the beginning and then faded badly. Like I think
Yes,
he ended up in the 30s or something like that. Like he
23rd.
23rd, yeah. So I mean, very much not a position we're used to seeing Anas in. I'm not sure what happened. Maybe he fell into Lucas's trap and just went out too hot with him. But
Yeah,
I will admit he is a guy that I expect more of because he has such talent.
yeah,
He's such a good runner and he is so strong. He's just hasn't put it together yet. And I still think he eventually will.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So hopefully in us, we're rooting for you. Hopefully you get on there not next time. Eric Williamson, another guy who did well, who was kind of not really ex not kind of coming out of nowhere. Not he won a New York Hyrox once, and we saw what he can do at DECA, but he was in the mix. He was there. Um, Anybody else jump out at you?
Um, I mean, I think Grayson Kilgore had a
Oh yeah.
fantastic race. He was up there in 12th, ran a 101. Marcus Wallace, who was also on that list of, could potentially, we
Hmm.
don't know. He was 101.
Marcus
Um,
and Grayson, very similar athletes and very much power athletes.
yes. Yeah, absolutely. So, um, yeah, I mean, oh, there's Johnny Mares right behind
Oh,
another.
I love Johnny Maris.
Yeah,
Um,
another.
and two things. I mean, this did happen. I had said before I do not like the already qualified people running in this division. I still don't. I think it looks messed up with Hunter in first and Vivian, as much as we love her, in second place. But she knows that. I've spoken plainly to her about it, that it's I don't think High Rock should have let them. And I think it does take away from it a little bit, you know.
So, but do you think they just should, do you think the LCQ should be its own result? Like, so do you think she should be a separate result or like, can she not go and race anyways?
If it was me making the rules, I would not have had her in the race. I would not. It would have been, if you're already qualified for the Worlds, congratulations. This is not your race.
What about if she went and raced open?
Yeah, I'd be fine with that. Or teams or relay or teams or whatever. I don't
But it
mind.
gives them an opportunity to get a good workout in and test themselves.
It does. But it's also, like I said, this race is bigger than just the one person. This race is about the whole season,
Yeah.
that world championship. And I think for Hunter and Vivian, who are the two examples who took part in it, I'm like, yeah, you could race open, you could get a work in somewhere else. I understand that. But and if Hyrox is letting you do it, I don't hold anything against you for it, but I just
Yeah.
disagree with them letting you do it. And it's an arguable point. Sometimes I
Yeah.
have inarguable points, but this one is arguable. And I get it. And I just, my personal opinion, I wouldn't have had it run out that way. I just think it takes away. It just,
Yeah.
yeah, it just takes away from me.
I
I
mean,
think,
I understand why they're able to run in it. Like, I think
yeah,
it's a hard line to say, no, you can't race.
mm,
Especially, I appreciate that they didn't run within the LCQ race.
that would have pissed me off.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it was the right call. Let them run in a later heat if they need to get a workout in, test themselves. Yeah, I think it's fine. They didn't disturb um, the racing that happened within the LCQ, so they essentially needed to get a time in. Interesting enough, I was seeing on Hunter's sta results and stuff in his zones. He had a very slow rock zone time.
Really?
Yeah, so Hunter is typically top three in any station,
Oh, yeah.
running all of it. Like he has no weaknesses, but his rock zone time was slow.
Hmm.
So I don't know if he was trying to figure out if he needed to take in more fluid or if he stopped to take some
He
pictures
went
with
out very
kids
hot.
or
He went out fast.
yeah, I don't know. But it was a very slow rock zone for him. So it was kind of interesting. I don't know,
So
maybe
here's the
took some
thing.
time going into stations.
Can this, and I mean, Hunter is one to play a lot of mind games and stuff, but can this potentially backfire on him? Because can Lucas now look at this and go, hold on, wait a minute. I'm right in the fucking game. I mean, he wasn't far off.
No, he wasn't. But I mean, we all know Hunter was essentially time trialing though.
Yeah, agreed. But so was Lucas after a certain amount of time.
Yes and no. He had a pretty scary group of men chasing him.
Yes. But anyway, I'm just saying, if I was Lucas and I won, one, I'd be confident and happy because I won. But two, and then if I looked over at the time, I'd be like, all right, I can find that time. I can run. And he's
Yeah,
competed against Hunter before. So
yeah,
I'm just saying it could be something that, maybe shows some other people that like, hey, he is beatable. He is,
yeah.
you know, He's not running 52 because this was course for course. They ran the same course. It's not like, oh, well, Hunter was off running in Geneva and the
Right.
course was a little bit different and la, la, la. They was course for course. So it's apples to apples this time.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm just saying if I was Lucas, I'd be taking a lot of confidence away from this race.
Yeah. I mean, I would anyways with Lucas.
Yes, yes, but
I
that would
think,
just be an added to it.
yeah, I think you always have to consider, anyone is beatable. Every race is different and everyone's different on the day. So I think that at their level of athletics, they would always consider that factor anyways.
All right, so let's take a look at the actual qualification list for Worlds.
Yes.
All right. Oh, here
And
we are.
we have some changes that could be coming down the wire.
Yeah, well, a couple of them we can pretty much say for sure. All right, so for women, um, let's go from the 15. We got Antish Hardies. We're going with
Eh.
that. In 15, Maria Fetchik in 14, Lauren Griffith 13, Kate Davey 12. And that is which is that one of the ones that we no, that's not one of the ones we're good with that. Linda Meyer 11th. That's kind of weird how that's seated because I mean Linda Meyer was like third at everything that you would are anyway.
So
I'm
that would have just been her qualifying
yeah, because
race,
yeah.
not her time. Yeah.
And this is let's be honest, the seating means jack shit. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Linda Meyer, Amy Bevilacqua, Alina Villeneuve, Yana Lebdenstedt,
Hmm.
Sarah Pieragrini, Vivian Tafuto, Camilla Massa, Viola Oberlander, Lauren Weeks, Michaela Norman, and Meg Jacoby. And the one change is already made there. So we do not have Becky Mason in there, and instead we have Alina Villeneuve.
Yeah.
And that being the reason, if in case some of you haven't heard the reason how they came up with that, and we haven't had a chance to discuss whether we like this or not, but Rebecca Mason had to pull out, and what happened was Alina Villeneuve got her spot because at the race where Rebecca Mason qualified, Alina Villeneuve was the next available athlete, the next athlete in positioning to take the spot. So if you were a person who was going to drop out, whoever was the next one behind you who had not already qualified will fill your spot. Um, do you like that? Thoughts about that? Because this was a, I'm gonna admit
I,
this was a tough one to figure out in
what they were gonna
what
do.
they were going to do. And I thought they were just going to go straight to time basis, which they did not.
Yeah, no, I like this one because they've done a lot this year where the race is the qualifying factor. So
Mhm.
I think that this is a move in the right direction. So no, I appreciate this one.
So I don't mind it either. My only issue with it is they should have told people at the beginning of the year. Because then for argument's sake, if let's say we're in a race, the first race of the year or whatever, and I know the top three are getting in and I'm in fourth place or fifth place or whatever, I know that those spots are now still worth bracing for because you don't know what could happen with the people in front of you, right? They could be injured, they could pull out, whatever the case may be. So I don't mind the system. I just wish they had announced it earlier on.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm okay with the system. Just don't wait until
It's
these
kind of
things.
like knowing you're the potential sub.
Exactly. Exactly.
Mm.
And two, that could, that could even affect some people's plans who maybe are going to run age group. They're like thinking at it, they're on the fence and they're like, oh, man, I don't really know. I don't really know. That could be the deciding factor that gets them to go because they could be something like what happened to James Kelly last year, where it's like, okay, someone just pulled out today and now you're in, right?
Yeah.
So that could be a definitive factor. Anyway, not gonna harp on that. That's just all. I'm okay with it. Just announce it earlier next time.
Mm.
So we have that. So then for the men, we got Rich Ryan, Graham Holiday, Thomas Verdict, Tim Weissnick, Jonathan Wynn, Paleo Mendez Fernandez. That is a fun name. Uh, Alex Ronkovic, Dylan Scott, Michael Sandbach, Lucas Storath, Bo Willis, Rylan Shadag, Ryan Kent, James Kelly, and Hunter McIntyre. And now this is the one where it's up in the air due to a post we've seen recently,
Yeah.
would be Rylan.
Yeah, Ryan's dealing with some health issues, so He is a bit on the fence about Nice.
So what's your gut? You think he's going to make it or not? I haven't talked to him
Um,
about it specifically, so I do not know. And maybe if you have talked to him about it, maybe you shouldn't say, and maybe I should just say.
yeah, what do you think?
My gut instinct is he wouldn't have put the post up if he wasn't gonna back out. And I shouldn't say back out. That's a horrible way to put it. If he wasn't feeling he was not capable of racing, and especially not capable of racing at his best. So my guess is
I
that
think,
he
yeah,
probably will not go.
yeah, I don't think Ryland's necessarily the kind of guy who wants to race, at 65% because of some health issues. So,
No, I think Ryland had intent of going to Nice and winning,
yeah,
and I think he had the potential to do so.
yeah,
But
absolutely.
Ryland not at 100%. No, no, you need to be at 100% to win this race, to you to podium, to even really realistically compete. You need to be full bore, and that's been
And
proven.
and the health issues that he is struggling with, I don't know if he could feasibly race anyways
Yeah,
because
this isn't a
his
sore toe.
yeah, yeah, we're not just, battling through like a physical injury as far as, just the like extremities and stuff like that. This is something that's going and it's still a mystery, and I think the mystery physical ailments are a little bit you when you just don't know, so you don't really know what you're battling with, and you can't, your heart rate spikes when you do something that is just kind of menial, like that's a bit scary. So yeah, I mean I'm not going to say for sure what I think is going to happen, but um yeah,
Well, and let's
we
be
might not
honest,
see Rylan there.
yeah, when you have a mystery ailment like that, you don't even know if it's wise to battle through it.
Well, exactly. And if you can. So,
Mhm.
if Rylan he could normally, do kilometer repeats at 3-minute kilometers, and his heart rate is hitting 200 when he's running 530s per
Mhm.
kilometer. Why would you race? Like so yeah, I understand totally if this isn't sorted in the next 2 weeks, which it likely isn't, why he wouldn't race.
Yeah, and so that being said, if Ryland does not race, it will be David Magida who gets his spot,
Yeah.
which yeah, is all the way back from Chicago. And Magida actually did not have a great race there, but because so many of the people that were at that race have already qualified, he puts him next in line.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, would we get to go?
yes, he has said he will go. He's
Oh,
actually already
okay.
planning to be there.
Oh, he was planning to go anyways.
Yes, yes. And I think Megiddo does a certain amount of work with Hyrox as well. So he was
Right.
planning to
Okay.
be there anyway. Maybe he's going to race doubles. I'm not sure his exact plans, but hey, you know what? If Megiddo's in there, I'm a Megiddo fan. I would love to see him racing it. I know he's admittedly again he's not 100%, but he is actually says he's feeling good.
Good.
So
Yeah.
so that's good. So if he's in there, best of luck, Dave. I hope you smash it
Yeah.
and make the most of the opportunity. We do know this that Megiddo on a good day is dangerous.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
So, so I'd love to see that. And yeah, so just looking at both those fields, and I'm like, that's just awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Just some amazing times, amazing racers. And yeah, I mean, so many different ways you could go. It's exciting. I can't wait. And it will be streamed properly, and it will be a fantastic stream.
Yeah. I can't wait. I'll be sitting there with my popcorn glued to my screen.
Well, yeah, I said, and that's the thing this year. Now it's gotten to the point where this is a watching event, right? I'm like, exactly like you said. Get your popcorn. You ready? All right, ready. Just
Oh,
go. Let's
yeah.
go.
Kids, quiet down. The
Yeah,
Hyrox
go.
race is going on.
Here's $50. Go to the movies.
Yeah. Well, my
Yeah.
kids would watch. No, they'd be right into it.
So that's very exciting. Just a great weekend for Hyrox, and aside from not streaming it properly, it just went really well.
Yeah.
It's so many stories, so many great races. So very exciting to have. Um, I did a PFT today.
You did a PFD.
Yeah, I went to Kitchener to
Oh,
yeah, I didn't even know that gym, what was it? Limitless Performance, Adam DeJong, I think is his name. He was
Okay.
at the Half Rocks. He was,
Oh yes, I
yep.
remember.
So
Yeah.
his gym is now a Hyrox gym. And I just like saw it a couple of days ago. I'm like, all right. So we just signed up and off we went to do a PFT today.
What
Yeah.
did you do with the weight vest or no?
No, I did Sans weight vest today because it's my rest day. Solid rest day.
Sounds like a normal rest day activity.
You know what? I'll be honest. I did not. I would call it an 80% effort. I didn't put my all into it, but it was. I just wanted to go and support and have some fun, and we did have a great time. It was good, and just more new people, like people I'd never seen in the community, and getting exposed and having a good time and excited and some good times, especially I think from some really solid women, some really some right around 20-minute mark for a PFT from some women, which is
That's really good.
very good.
Yep.
And yeah, it was nice. And had Jay out there as well. Jay Muscart was out there threatening a lot of no reps. He gave some no reps. I got what, like two no reps, but I just missed the target. It
Oh, okay, that's
was
fair.
one of those up and back down. Didn't quite hit.
Yeah. Mhm.
Was good. But all in all, another good event. And check out that gym if you're ever out in Kitchener Way. It's a nice gym. It's in a good location. It's a very long gym and lots of wall ball targets.
Nice.
It was good fun. And the funny part though was when I tell you it was like about an 80% effort. My run without the weight vest was within 10 seconds of my run with the weight vest.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I think just the run. The time was much faster, but the run itself, um, yeah, I just kind of cruised on it. Like I think the one with the weight vest, if I remember right, it was probably like a 450-ish, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And this one was a 442.
That's almost the same thing.
Yeah, so pretty much. And this one, yours had more hills. This had no hills.
Yes, it did.
So
Mhm.
anyway, it was just kind of funny. But the rest of it, it wasn't much improved time. It was quite a bit faster. But just the run was kind of funny. So that was a lot of fun. The other thing, so a couple of things I want to mention, and I don't want to forget this, so I'm going to do it now. Jill Sargent
Mhm.
comes second at toughest in Philly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a heroic effort from Jill, and I think Jill was probably more surprised than anybody. I talked to her a little bit, and she's just like, "Holy cow!" I like she just like Jill's what we
Uh,
would call a solid age group competitor,
yeah.
especially for long endurance stuff.
Yeah, she's definitely the ultra girl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then this one, she just, you know, when it's your day and you can't control who shows up, you just
Yeah.
race who's there. And congrats, Jill. We're just super proud of you. She's such a person in the community and super nice and helps everybody. So it looks great on her. I'm really happy for her.
Mm.
Wanted to say that. Oh yeah, okay. I wanted to say this. CrossFit semifinals this week. Did you see the layout for the 800-meter run for event one?
Yeah, so where was this?
This was in France.
Okay, because still with the semis, people video their own race runs and stuff.
So no, you can go onto not the CrossFit Games website or YouTube, the CrossFit Games podcast YouTube,
Okay.
and you can get all of the semifinals that happened in France, but not the Asia Pacific one, um, or whatever. Oh, yeah, Asia Pacific one. I think that's what it is. I don't know why they didn't get coverage, but they didn't. And then I saw results, and I'll be perfectly honest, I didn't recognize a single name. But I'm not as deep in CrossFit as some, so I don't
No.
know where you can pick that up. But if you want to watch the European, which has a lot of familiar names like Laura Horvath and Lazar
Yeah.
Dukic and Miriam von Rohr and stuff like that. Victor Hoffer, who is my wife's new love. Um, yes, and understandably so. He is a handsome fella. No doubt about it. Victor Hoffer is a handsome dude. French, French. He's good looking, got great hair, and he can handstand walk like nobody's business.
There you go.
But apparently, he has won 8 individual like events or tests, whatever you want to call them, in his career.
Mhm.
5 of them involved handstand walking. So he's got a niche there.
Mm.
Yeah, so it's good. So if you want to check it out, yeah, that's where you find it. And obviously it's still there, so you can still catch up and have fun with that. But yeah, you don't see it on the event because it's on day one and they're on Friday, which was day one, they kind of had a half-assed coverage for CrossFit standards. So you don't see it, but I saw the Instagram post and it was literally, it reminded me, and I don't know if you said this or who said it, but it looked like at the airport a makeshift lineup to get your passport customs done,
With the zigzag lineup.
like it was a there and back and there and back with like caution, yellow caution tape,
Yeah.
cattle, and I was just like, we can never make fun of DECA for not looking professional because that was like the shittiest setup I've ever seen from. I mean, it gets the job done.
Yeah, I mean, no one's running fast, but
Well, speaking of running fast, actually they were.
so maybe because it's not 800 meters.
No, and they made fun of it on the broadcast. Chase Ingram was saying, he goes, "That's a really fast time, but let's keep in mind this is 800 meters ish."
Yeah,
And he said, with all CrossFit stuff, it's ish, like the 5K ish. And then he
I
goes, "Oh,
know.
too soon?"
It's not. It's not.
So
Crossfitters do the same thing.
yeah, yeah. And but it does strike me as funny because they are so precise on the weights and
Yeah,
distances and things like weights and height, not distance running, but like heights of things and that stuff and lines, very, very precise. But the running distances, whatever, it'll all do.
yeah. Well, and I mean, at the end of the day, a race is a race.
Yeah, it
So,
doesn't matter.
yeah,
Again, never have a problem with it. Just don't claim you ran an 800 meter in 142
right.
because you didn't.
Exactly. Zigzagging.
Zigzagging, yes,
Yeah.
on a polished floor.
Yep, exactly.
You just didn't. But
Yeah.
anyway, so it was funny. I just laughed at in our hybrid world, a lot of people hold CrossFit up to the standard and they think, oh, their judging is so good. Why can't we figure it out? Oh, their layouts are so good. Why can't we figure this out? No, you're dreaming. They're just as fucked up as we are. I've said it time and time again. They're just as lost and confused. They had an entire open judging controversy. Like they're messed up. They got their issues too. Don't kid yourselves. Don't feel bad if you're just a hybrid person. You're like, oh, why can't we get this right?
Yeah.
It ain't just us.
Yeah. It's
So
true.
so don't worry about that. Yeah, that's all I got for this week. You got anything else? What did
No.
you do this weekend? Did you get up to anything? This was a holiday weekend. Did you do anything?
Um,
Ryan?
what did I do this weekend? No, I did like I set up like we cleaned out the garage and set up a garage gym.
Well, no, that's cool.
Yeah, but that's about it. No, we didn't do much, just stuff around the home and stuff like that. So, and a bit of training and like a pretty wicked Hyrox session Sunday at the gym in London. So, yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. Well, you need those days. I think I got one of those next weekend. Gonna
Oh yeah.
maybe not drive anywhere for a weekend.
Yeah, you need those days. We
Yeah.
are doing a trail race next weekend. So Sulphur Springs, which is kind of iconic in Ontario.
Where is that one? Is that the 100K one?
So they have 10K, 20K, 50K. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of different race distances over the weekend. It has a 100 miler is the longest
Yeah.
one. Um, so yeah, it is over 2 days. It's in Ancaster, so Hamilton area.
Hmm.
Beautiful trail system. So again, like the 20K isn't multiple loops, it's one big loop, which is
Yeah.
really nice. Yeah, so we're gonna do that one early Sunday morning. Early Sunday morning.
Well, my buddy Chris Otis, I think it has 100K, and I think he was going to run 100K there, but he rolled his ankle this weekend training, and now I'm like,
Oh,
he may, I don't know, it's up in the air. You ask him, he's probably still going.
yeah,
But
and they do have 100K and 100 mile.
yeah, I think he was in for the 100K, and hopefully he's got some of that like professional soccer magic spray they spray on the guys' ankles that are falling down and crying, and then all of a sudden stand up and run. Um, Hopefully
Wait,
he's got
what?
some of that stuff because then he can go and kill it. Come on, you've ever seen that?
No?
Oh my God. Okay. So, all right, we're gonna get a bit, it might upset people. So, soccer players tend to fall down a lot.
Uh-huh.
dramatically, and they
Uh-huh.
roll around on the ground like they've broken their ankles. And
Yeah.
this is common knowledge. And then the trainer comes out with like a little can of spray and sprays some whatever on them, and they get up and run away like a video game character. They just bounce up,
Really?
no, I'm good to go, and everything's fine. So yeah, they need to start marketing that spray because it's freaking miracle working stuff.
I've never heard of this spray.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's just it's funny. Let's just say soccer players and hockey players are very different breeds.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the way I'm going to leave that.
Yeah.
The reason Don Cherry never called soccer.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh boy. Well, yeah. Yeah. Just stitched up on the sidelines, no numbing, put back in the game.
Exactly. Back in the game. But yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember that stuff. Oh, I was with a guy I knew once, and his kid got hit right by the bench and just lied out on the ice, and he started going, "Well, can't he just crawl to the bench? Like, get there."
Oh,
So anyway, Beth, you got anything else?
I do not.
All
No.
right, let's wind it out.
Yeah, thanks so much everyone for listening. It was such an exciting weekend of racing. So again, if you are a fan, I'm sure you were glued to your Instagram live feeds as we were. So, and all the best to everyone racing this weekend, whatever you're doing. And yeah, keep crushing it.
Take care.